Hello, everybody. This is Mansoor Mirza. Good afternoon. Sat Sri Akal, Namaste. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all of my viewers on Facebook. Thank you very much for staying tuned and joining me every Sunday at noon to get all the latest information about the real estate market and also getting the updates about the government support plans and all the good stuff we are getting from both sides of the government, local government, provincial and federal government, and asking questions and getting involved in the community and also keeping the whole society informed what is happening during this especially pandemic days. Today, I have with me joining our local member of parliament, Kamal Khera ji, who is a member of parliament from Brampton West. She has joined us, and we will be getting a lot of great and a lot of encouraging information about all the excellent, great support we are getting from the federal government. We would like to see her in a second, and I'll request Kamal ji to please come. Due to some technical difficulties, her camera was not helping, so she's online with us. And I'll request Kamalji, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Mirza. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me on your, every weekly Sunday live that you do with our community members, with local politicians, as well as experts, I think, from the community. I think it's very important that you do these things because I know you have quite an audience as well. So thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to this discussion. And I hope that everyone listening in is staying safe and are enjoying this beautiful Sunday afternoon as well.
Thank you very much. And I also have my co-host with me, Mr. Zafar, who is also today joining us. He is with us. Hello, Zafar, how are you? Hello, Zafar.
Here we go. How you doing? Sorry, my network was out again, so just came back. And morning, everyone. Sorry, I missed everything earlier, but welcome to Sunday morning.
So welcome again, and I'll be getting a lot of help from you as always, and monitoring our Facebook Live questions if there are any questions. So feel free to keep track on that, and I'll go back to Kamalji. Excuse me. Kamalji, would you like to share some of the great incentive, great support plans federal government is offering to our residents to make sure in these difficult times nobody is left alone and government is always there for them?
Certainly, Mansoor. Again, thank you for giving this platform to talk about some of the updates. As you know, one of the first things I want to say is, and I know this is about the economic response plan that Canada has put forward. And from the very get-go, our biggest, I think, concern was making sure that we are providing support to Canadians. There was a lot of uncertainty when we had first, when COVID first hit, in mid-March, and especially around the time where actually when I was also diagnosed with COVID. And our Canada's COVID-19 economic response plan has been focused on making sure that we are providing support to every Canadian. So you know this, and I know many Canadians now because they've been taking advantage of some of these, the things that we put forward, they've been taking advantage of them as well. So whether it was ensuring that our small businesses are getting the support that they need, whether it is ensuring that our Canadian workers are getting the support that they need, ensuring that we're helping our seniors, our families, our students, and we've been able to showcase that, in such a direct way. Because we know, when government is telling, when there's a huge pandemic, when we're telling people to stay at home, we need to make sure that we are, it's easy for anyone to say, stay at home. But if you cannot pay your bills, if you cannot, pay your mortgage, if you cannot, provide for your family, you simply can't do that. So we wanted to make sure that we put forward a plan that has helped every Canadian. And I think as we move towards, economy begins to transition, whether it is, how to have a safe recovery, we need to recognize that our measure will have to adapt every single time with the new realities of across the country. And there has been different realities and different provinces as well. So we're continuing to listen to Canadians making sure we're adapting. And as you know, with a lot of the feedback from the community, we've been able to extend the CERB, for workers that are still not working as well, which has been a huge advocacy from people, the constituents, especially of Brampton West, that we've heard directly from. We've made changes as we were moving along as well, whether it is through our small businesses, enhancing the CESB and other measures, because we know nothing that you could do it and in such pandemic, it needs to be enhanced every step of the way, and we have never truly seen something like this before in terms of the unprecedented pandemic that we are still currently in. But it is so good to see not just the federal government, but the provincial and the municipal government working together along with our community leaders. And I think one thing I will say is how our community has come together, especially, and I know I do want to, give a huge shout out to the MDM Muslim Jamaat as well for the incredible work that they have been doing, providing support to the most vulnerable, whether it is through providing with groceries to our seniors and so much more. So we've seen so many of these stories across, not just in Brampton West, but across the country. And it just goes to show, as Canada Day is soon approaching as well, it truly goes to show what it means to be a Canadian. I'm so very proud of that.
Thank you very much. And also, like to recognize your effort and your courage, that as the majority of us know already that you got infected with COVID-19, and with your strength and with your all the positivity, you came out of this infection. And I have seen you gone back to the community again, and I always appreciate and discuss within the community, within my close friends and everybody else as well, that the background we came from, we have not seen this kind of community leaders back who are getting into these serious infections and coming back to the community and offering their services, the doctors, the engineers going back, if they are selected as a government officials, it's hardly to see them going back to the community and offering them. And as everybody knows, Kamalji have a nursing career, and she went back to the hospital during this difficult time to help the society, help the community. And she got infected. She came out of this and gone back again. And I can see every other day she's helping in the hospitals back again. So thank you very much, Kamalji, for doing this excellent and very courageous job.
Thank you so much, Mansoor. I think it's important to recognize, I think I played a very small part in all of this. There's frontline heroes every single day, that have been risking their lives, putting not just their lives, but also their families, going back to work, whether it is our essential workers at the time at grocery stores, or obviously our frontline workers, healthcare workers, our nurses, our doctors, our truck drivers that are making sure that we're getting the supplies that we need. And of course, our whole community coming together. It is something, and, I've been a proud nurse, ever before even I got into politics. So I think when I saw the call for proposal, it was from the RNAO's call to action, I put my hand up, and I've been so proud to be able to serve our community in Brampton, to help out at the long-term care, which was hard hit by this pandemic. But glad to see a lot of those seniors have also now have recovered as well. But I mean, we're gonna have to be very careful. And Mansoor, as things are opening up, we are in phase 2 in Brampton as well, which is good news. Numbers are going down, but I think it is really, really important that we still follow the recommendations that our public health officials are giving out every single day, especially, within our Peel region as well. I know Mayor Brown as well as Dr. Lowe have been very giving those weekly updates, which are so important, because even when the province is opening up, I think Brampton had been a hotspot, and we are not out of the woods yet. And it's so important, when you are going out, please wear a mask. If you are going out, try to maintain physical social distancing. And even now, when you do go out, still be extremely careful. It's I can tell you, I've been having many conversations with countries around the world, as I am the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of International Development, and things, even countries that were we're out of the woods, they're now going back into it. So we have to be careful of all the things that we are seeing from every government's point of view. From the federal side, we're monitoring this very, very carefully. So please follow the public health recommendations. We're not out of the woods yet, but I think we are stronger together, and we have seen a lot of success in some provinces. So let's continue to do our part to make sure that we're not just putting ourselves at risk, but also the families and other essential workers that have to work.
Great advices, Kamalji, from your health point of view. I know that you have more knowledge than even me about the health services. I have a few other parts which I would like to address is, would you like to give us some more detail about the government plan and support plan, especially for our indigenous families?
Sorry, for which
for our
families?
indigenous families?
Our indigenous?
Yes.
Of course. I mean, if you look at our response, and especially what we are kind of seeing across this country, whether it is, indigenous racism that we have seen, with the systemic racism that we've seen, not just in our indigenous communities, but also in racialized communities, Black communities across the country. Our governments, and unfortunately, systemic racism is real, and we've seen that in our institutions. We see that certainly in our systems, and we have to do a better job. And I think from the government's point of view, from the federal, our prime minister has been really clear that we have awfully a lot of work that we need to do to support, our indigenous brothers and sisters, our most vulnerable individuals. There are still reserves and in this country where we still don't have clean water. We've been able to get rid of a lot of the bold advisories, but there's still a lot of work that we need to continue to do, and we are focused on doing all that work.
Thank you very much. Great information. And somebody has asked me that there was an announcement recently came about the volunteers, that if the volunteers are doing 100 hours, they will be getting some government support.
Yes, and that's really important, because I think for our, especially our youth, whether if you look at the student support that we've been able to provide our students, whether it is for our volunteers that are working extremely hard, there has been support for everyone. And I think if you look at just recently, our Prime Minister had announced, the Welcome to Canada student grant, which has been very, very successful. So there's a new program which is called I Want to Help, and if you want to get more information, it's for volunteers. So if you're providing more support, you can definitely visit the website, which is iwanttohelp.org. And to other volunteers, which I know there are many in Brampton West area, and I always give a special shout out to, of course, my constituents, that you can apply for this program and see if you're eligible. And I think it's in partnership with the WE organization, which has known to do incredible work, not just in Canada, but around the world. So please get involved. And if you want to get more information, visit iwanttohelp.org.
Thank you, because once I heard about this government support, I was very much excited and very much appreciative for the government effort that volunteers got some more incentive, and especially we are into the summer vacations, and this is the time we always have the student coming out for the jobs, and a lot of other opportunities open for the volunteers. So by getting this financial support would be a great help. The next topic I would like to ask is about, there was a special one-time tax-free payment for the certified holders of disability tax credit.
Sorry, Mansoor, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry. There was a special one-time tax-free payment for the certified holders of the disability. For the disabled people, there was one time some government support available.
Yes, certainly. And I think, when you look at the people that have been affected by this pandemic, it is obviously, we are supporting the workers. Obviously, we're supporting the families, especially, young families with the Canada Child Benefit and the increased payments that we made there and the extra payment that we made there. Whether it was the increased payment, especially that one-time payment for our seniors, our most vulnerable. But if you look at, the most vulnerable in our communities are, of course, that are not just suffering, within this pandemic, but the more challenges that they have when it comes to their disability. So we have also, announced, and it was during the Accessibility Week, which was a few weeks ago, which our government had introduced and put forward to make sure that we are supporting, individuals that are the most vulnerable, which is the community that is more impacted. So when the Accessibility Week we were celebrating it for the first time in Canada, we had announced this one-time payment for the disability credit, which has been a huge need from constituents, of course, in Brampton West as well, that had reached out to me, and we had made sure, and all 5 Brampton MPs had actually worked really hard on that to make sure that we get that information out to our Minister of Finance, and we were able to see that benefit up front when it comes to the accessibility week. Sorry.
No, thank you. The other question I was getting is that would you like to give us some briefing on the temporary wage top-up for the low-income essential workers? Because essential workers are our frontline heroes, and we always thank, and we have our words are even smaller than their efforts in this difficult time. They are the one who are protecting us, who are doing everything and coming out of their families and doing everything in their control to save the lives of the community and society. So there was a temporary wage top-up for the low-income essential workers.
Yes, certainly. And I think that's very important as well, especially, and I always say this, the work that our frontline heroes are doing every single day, especially during this pandemic. And I've seen people, Mansoor, I want to share a story with you as well. When I was working at a long-term care at Grace Manor, I'd worked with a nurse who, especially when there was a huge outbreak that had happened in this long-term care facility, and most of the staff had tested for COVID-19. So you have half of, the residents that were tested for COVID-19, and there's half of the staff that unfortunately couldn't work anymore because they had tested positive. So there's, when you have a handful of staff left, this nurse who ended up staying 3 weeks, in the long-term care facility to help support for, the residents. And this is just one story, but I know in Brampton and Brampton West, I've heard, countless stories about individuals that have been working so hard. And I know the province also had announced a top-up for especially whether it is people and nurses and healthcare workers that are working, that were working so hard, especially in, when you look at the long-term cares, and obviously I'm sure you've seen the report that the military had put forward, which had really unfortunate incidents that we had seen, and the changes that we need to do at the provincial level, which at the federal level, I know we will continue to support, because we had failed our seniors when it comes to living in long-term care facilities. And I'd worked with some of these individuals that work so hard, but it is ensuring that they had the resources that they need. It is to make sure that they have the capacity that they need. And some of these workers, whether it is our PSWs and some of the nurses, they're not been able to do the work that they've been able to do, working all these hours. So we have to make sure when you're putting yourself, in this situation, that they need to get the support that they need. And I know that province had a top up that they had announced, and I hope that it goes through for sure to support those very workers that have been working so hard.
Thank you. I know there are a lot of questions and a lot of people are asking. Instead of going to the every single part, I know your time is very tight. Uh, People know that we do have a Canada Child Benefit plans from the government during these days, and extra time for filing taxes, mortgage deferral program. And the last, I would request you if you can just give us some detail about the Canada Emergency Student Benefit, because as we know, especially in our Brampton area, we have a lot of international students and a lot of other local students, university graduates, university students who are getting affected due to these closure of the colleges, and there might be student work. So what plans the government have announced for the students?
Well, certainly, and I think when it comes to student, we've been very active on supporting our students, and it's not just there's few things. If you are working and if you had worked in the past, you are eligible for CERB. If you're a student that was supposed to work for whether it is this summer, you still have CESB, which is the student emergency benefit. And if you look at the support that we provided to Canada Summer Jobs, which has been significant. So there's many organizations in Brampton West, first and foremost, that have received funding for Canada Summer Jobs. And I actually hosted a student job fair on Thursday, where I got all the organizations that had got the money, and this is a great program where the federal government gives money to these organizations, a lot of them which are non-for-profit, but also businesses as well, to hire students so they can get the support that they need. And we had over 60 students that joined the call, and to make sure that during the summer, even especially some of the essential workers that's going to be happening, especially the non-for-profit organizations that are doing incredible work, they get those very students that are looking for those jobs. So if you're still looking for a job, if you're a student in Brampton West, or actually anywhere in Canada, you can go to jobbank.ca. It is a great website with all the organizations that have from organizations and jobs that are available for our students. And for some of the things that you talked about, all the measures that our federal government has put in place, there is a great website. It is for every single person. If you're an individual, if you're a business, if you're a student, if you are an owner, anything that you need, all the information is available at canada.ca/coronavirus. And if you have any specific questions, please reach out to my office anytime. We haven't fully opened up our office physically, but we have been helping our constituents just like everyone else, virtually. So either through phone calls or email. So you can always email us at kamal.khera@pearl.gc.ca. And I'm accessible anytime. I can have a conversation with any of the constituents that have any specific concerns. Obviously, there are a lot of, Mansoor, and you know this, in terms of people having or thinking about challenges, especially when it comes to the economic impacts that this may have. I know there's a lot of anxieties about what this will look like for them and their families as well. I think one thing I will say is, before this pandemic hit, Canada was in the best financial position that it could possibly be in, right? In the G7, we had the best economy in the G7. When you look at the jobs that we had created, it was over 1 million jobs that have been created by Canadians. If you look at the trade agreements, Canada was the only country that had a trade agreement with every other G7 country. And I think our response have been very, very extraordinary, because of the uncertainty due to COVID-19. But I think we will continue to be extremely open and transparent about the actions that we're going to continue to take, whether it is to support our families, our healthcare system, and our economy. This also includes, Mansoor, things like bi-weekly reports that we're putting to Parliament, a full cost and status of the economic response. And I think it's really important for our constituents to realize that, we entered this crisis in a strong physical position. Canada is ready and is able to respond to these challenges posed by COVID-19. And that's why we have been able to support, $150 billion plan to support our Canadian workers and students and everyone else in between. So we are ready. Obviously, we're going to continue to talk about how we're going to move forward, but Canada is in a good position to face that challenge.
And as everybody knows that we are coming close to our Canada Day, July 1st. This is the day which I always recommend. I always suggest to my family and friends, and especially my own kids as well, that we should be much appreciating our country and the leadership and God, that we are so fortunate that we are living in this beautiful country who is giving us liberty to grow. And as you see, individual like Kamal ji is now member of parliament. We have seen so many other leaders in the community without any difficulties. Challenges are there to get to these big community services, but the point I was trying to make is that imagine the government who is helping students, helping seniors, helping indigenous families, helping commercial those businesses. Every single areas, the governments are standing next to us. So as a Muslim, we know that faith to our country is also part of our loyalty to our country, is also part of our faith. So we need to make sure on July 1st, we revise our connection with our beautiful country, and we need to be thankful to the governments and thanks to our leaders who are doing everything in their control to help our society. So Kamalji, at the end, would you like to say something to our viewers before we end?
Yes, of course. And I think you led me to that point, Mansoor. So thank you for that. And I think it is so important. You talked about Canada Day. It is a time to celebrate, our country's diversity, inclusion, and to continue to talk about challenges that do exist. And I think more than ever, this Canada Day is going to be even more special, considering we have seen resiliency and we have seen strong leadership, from our community. And from Canadians from all across their life. And I think it truly goes to show what it means to be a Canadian. So please celebrate in style, be careful. Mansoor, I've seen the pictures of your house and with the big flags and everything. You're a proud Canadian, I know. But to all the Brampton West residents that are listening, you can, we've ordered these Canada Day signs that you can, we can drop them off to you, or you can pick them up from our office Monday and Tuesday. Just email me at kamal.khera@pearl.gc.ca. Mansoor, if you can share that on your social media as well. Just let us know where in Brampton West you live. And we're going to make sure that we deliver this Canada Day sign to you, to your house, and we'll install it outside your house. And please show your pride, show and talk about, especially on Canada Day, talk about what makes you so proud to be a Canadian. And I think there will be many virtual celebrations that are going to be happening. I know the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat is also having a celebration virtually, and so are many other communities. So I look forward to celebrating. And with that, I just want to say thank you, Mansoor, for hosting this, and a very happy Canada Day to all those viewers. And I look forward to seeing you on Canada Day as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kamal Khera, for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a meeting before this Zoom call, and now you have many other coming today and coming weeks. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time and your efforts and your energy, especially going back to after getting this infection and now back in full swing. Our best wishes and prayers are for your health and a long and healthy life, and have a wonderful Sunday and wonderful day.
Thank you, Mansoor. You too. Take care.
Thanks a lot. So yes, Safar, thank you very much for your patience as well, that I know you are keeping quiet as well during this whole thing. So today, as we know that viewers know that, yes, we were discussing last week our this newcomers to Canada plan. Today, as occasionally I get opportunity to bring our community leaders and from different parts of the life. So today we were lucky to have our local member of parliament, Kamal Khera, joining us due to some technical difficulties. I know that the camera was not working on her system. At least we were again thankful to her that she took time out of her busy schedule and joined my viewers and join our session and give us all the government support. There are many other areas which we were not able to touch, but the highlights of the government support she discussed. And I am a big fan of always saying that thank you to Canada and thank you to the system available here, that a person like me moved from Pakistan, started my career as a delivery driver in Pizza Hut. I remember, Zafar, you might remember those days or not. Yes, before you, we met, but that was my start. And any individual who is joining Canada, coming to Canada, and if a person like me, starting from a delivery driver, going to these, roles, and then I feel, and I always thankful that these governments are always on our back. The governments are always supporting us. Imagine those areas where we came from. Look at the conditions of the system. Look at the conditions of the country's infrastructure. We should be thankful to our government that who is doing every single thing in their control. Look at these political leaders. I cannot imagine in my back home that I can ever meet a member of parliament so easily, and they are so easy to access, so easy to contact them. And anybody, not only me, anybody living in Brampton West, I can assure you, you go and see her, you go in her office, their office people, team will be always welcoming you. So that was my personal experience, and I have never heard anybody has any different experience. The individual, the political leadership of these countries are here to help us, are here to serve us. So feel free to go there, as she mentioned, pick up your Canada Day signs. And if you have any question, she have given you the office address, email address, and I'll share the phone number of the office. So thank you very much, Kamal Khera ji, once again. Zafar, would you like to discuss something which you missed last week?
I think we do have it's just a full session. Like if we do a little bit to this week, and then we're gonna have to refresh it, and it's not fair to our viewers to just give them just a little bit this week and just maybe a tease, and then come back to it. As we discussed earlier this week, that we will do the whole session. This was important, like we discussed earlier, that these MPs giving us the time on this platform. It's amazing that our viewers get to see and understand how hard they're working day and night, and despite our differences. There's people with different parties, this are different background, different ethnicity, but we're still, at the end, we're all working together, making our country great. Like down south, they say, make America great. We're making Canada great every day.
As I mentioned earlier, Zafar, that I don't remember seeing any of our, again, the reason I keep connecting to our back home, because our half of the life and half of us are still connected to our back homes. I haven't seen the political leadership going through the situation, just like Kamal ji was gone through infection. And why she got this infection? Because she was volunteering her knowledge and her training of a nursing background and going back to the society in this difficult time, not sitting into a nice office and saying, okay, I'm a member of parliament, I should be just sitting in my office and might be talking and dealing with my community only on the video or virtual communication system. She went back to the hospitals, start serving the seniors and the needy ones. And yes, she got infected. She recovered, and now she's back again. I see every other day going back to the different events, going back to the different hospitals. These things are always big thing to motivate me, big to amaze me, what kind of society and beautiful country we are living and what kind of great leaders we have around us. So this is the main, always big, I would say, attractive part or something which I always admire about this beautiful country. And as you know, we are heading to our Canada Day and celebrate Canada Day. Try to remember this country is what this country has given to you. If you ask me, Zafar knows, starting from a pizza delivery driver to working in a pizza stores and grown to operations specialist in the system and now in the real estate market. Whatever I like, I try to work on those lines and I got those lines and I was able to work. I'm discussing Zafar. I remember that day when you are working with me inside the restaurant. Remember, we were mopping the floor, we were washing the dishes. I don't mind. This is hard work we are doing, but this country has given us ability to grow. This country has given us those roadmaps.
And that's the thing, right? If you're willing to work for it, you'll get it. You'll get there. Yes, it's not an easy road, but you'll get there. Determination, the opportunities, lots of opportunities are there, especially for our young youths out there. You you take your first step, someone will guide you through. You got to work hard. You got to be honest with yourself, and you got to be honest with your work. If you're honest and you work hard, you'll get there. Number one for everything is you got to set your goals, and you'll get there eventually. And like you said, we're blessed to be here. There's people out there, even down south. The situation it's sad, but it all starts from our leadership. Look at Mr. Trudeau. Every single day he's been out there. Same thing with our premier, Mr. Ford. These guys been doing it from day one. Every single day, your phone get notification. They're on it. They're giving us the update. And just like our MPs, our mayors, our councilors, they're out there. Essential workers. It all starts from a leadership. Mr. Trudeau, he hasn't missed a day. And the people and down south, he hasn't said a word. So that's why we're so much different. And look at I was reading the numbers the other day. There are 2.5 million people, possibly. And on our end, it's we've been blessed, and hopefully move forward. We'll come away from this. I think that's about it for next week. We will come back, guys, to our I believe regular mortgage basic program, and we'll go from there. Anything on my end, let me know, and we'll touch base.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining. And once again, if you have any question, feel free to contact me at 416-571-1163. Visit my website, mansoormirza.com. I am here. My virtual office is open. Set up your meeting, discuss your real estate needs, and I'll be available. My team is available. Zafar is available. We have all team members. I always call our team as one-stop shop team, where you come and you get services related to the real estate, mortgages, lawyers, home inspections, renovations, upgrade, touch-ups, everything you name it. We have facilities available in our team. So thank you very much, Zafar, and have yourself a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, yeah, you too. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.